Spot the slip hazard, guys. Spot the slip hazard. SM Langan. Oh, I've just had my ice cream. Very nice. Today we're talking about how my diet has changed in the 8 years I've been in the Philippines. Join me. Thursday. Oh, coffee. As I was saying in the intro, over the last 8 years, my diet has changed. And when I first came here, I tried to eat healthy, and I tried to turn around and do what I wanted to turn around and do regarding my diet, because when I was in the UK, the UK is a fat culture on food. It's burgers, fast food, sandwiches, sweet drinks, cakes, coffees, snacks in the morning, snacks at lunchtime, snacks in the afternoon, main meal at midday, main meal at dinner time. Because of the pressures of work and your lifestyle, you'll eat in the car, you'll eat on the run, you'll eat on the motorway, you'll eat here, you'll eat there. And wherever you turn around and go, you can get hold of food quite easily. And you can get hold of healthy food, but people don't eat a lot of healthy food because they get hungry. So it will be a fat burger, or it'll be a fat chicken, or it'll be fish and chips, or it'll be a curry, or it'll be ribs, or it'll be pork ribs, it'll be a rice meal. You can get all of that. And I struggled for a massive amount of time to turn around and get my weight down. But I could, 24 hours a day, I could get food. I could get a pizza, I could get rich pasta, I could get meals that were, 800, 900, 1,000, 1,200 calories. And when I moved here, it was a culture shock for me. Because, yes, you could get online food delivered to your house. The majority of the online places were closed at 10 o'clock. So when I was hungry at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, I had to find an alternative to eat, which meant I used to have bananas, I still do have bananas, or I'd have blueberries, or I'd have fruits in the fridge that I could turn round and pick on and graze on, which wasn't a Big Mac or a fried chicken or chips, or in the UK we call them chips, here you call them crisps. But school kids would actually turn around and have 4 or 5 packets of crisps a day, 2 or 3 sodas a day, full fat. Everything was calorie bound. But when I came here, I started, and gradually over this 8-year period I've been here, my diet, my meals have got less and less, and I eat chop suey. My favourite meal here now is chop suey, and I'll have chop suey maybe 3 times a week. And it's not a Chinese dish. It was invented in America. That's the pot calling the kettle black, isn't it? America is a massive, unhealthy dietary continent, country, whatever you want to call it. And somebody invents chop suey in the US, which is healthy. It's vegetables. It's got some soy in it. It's got some vinegar in it. It's got some mirin in it. It's got some flavour in it. It's got some sprinkled with pork, or it's got chicken. No skin on the pork, no skin on the chicken. It's lean meat sprinkled over the top, or it's got shrimp. Which I find that quite anecdotal, really, that one of the fattest countries in the world produces a meal that helps me lose my weight. So I'll have that. And if I'm drink sodas here, I will drink Coke Zero, which you've seen in my blogs, or I drink Perrier water, or what is it called, San Pellegrino, and they're European sparkling waters, naturally sparkling waters, or they're pre-carbonated. But my weight when I came here, I was big. Okay, I was 52 inches across the chest. I was nearly 40 inches around the waist. Now I'm 34, just under, about 33 on my waist, and my chest now still the same size on the body mass, but the fat that's at the back and the fat that's on the front, on my booby loobies and on the back part, is no longer there. It's down, it's become lean and mean. As Annie says, I don't have a bottom anymore. Okay, my bottom's all, it was fat, it's all gone down. It's not muscle, don't get me wrong, it's not muscle, because I walk a lot and I get out in the heat a lot, and I turn around and I'll take my vitamins and I turn around and enjoy what I'm doing. And I've got myself into this regime of, I'll miss breakfast. I keep away from breakfast. And I put my breakfast as my last meal of the day. That's what I've done. I do porridge, which is lugao, or it's grits, and I don't put all the butter in it. I'll put in there frozen blueberries, and I'll put in there almonds, or I'll put in there walnuts, and I'll put in there raisins. But I'll eat that 9-10. That'll keep me full through the night, because as a diabetic I get these hunger pangs where I need to turn around, otherwise I either become hyper or hypo, and I don't need to do that. So I get that down around about 9-10 o'clock in the evening, and then I'll drink maybe a litre of water, Perrier water, before I go to bed. When I was back in the UK, I used to go to the toilet 3 or 4 times a night, getting rid of all the sugar that was in the foods that turned around and said, that people would turn around and saying, oh, this is sugar free, this is all this free. It's not. It's not. They might put it on the label and they might turn around and say 100% whatever, but when you delve into it, it's not. It's one of the reasons why I got out of the food industry, because I didn't like what the food industry, the FDA, the Food Development Agency in the United Kingdom, or the Food Development groups came up with, things like to bulk out chicken or bulk out pork, you put it in a brine solution. A brine solution is salt and water. You run out as a 10% solution in a vac machine, or you leave it for 3 or 4 hours for the meat to absorb that salt saline solution into it. Then you make the meal. So you're adding salt to bulk out the protein. And the only food industry I didn't work in was hospitals. But when I get on my deathbed, I'll be able to look at the hospital food and give an evaluation of it. But every other food industry I worked in, manufacturing, hospitality, fine dining, airlines, dietary, shipping, fast food, Michelin star, I covered it all. Ticked all those boxes apart from hospital food. Anyway, going back to me, here there is McDonald's here, but I don't get drawn to it like I used to in the UK. It doesn't have the same flavour profile here that it did in the UK. Kentucky Fried Chicken doesn't have the same recipe flavour that I used to have when I was in the 80s and 90s. Pizzas in the UK, they're okay, but whatever you want to call them, they're just a piece of bread slapped on a board, put on a rich marinara sauce, and then everybody throws stuff at it, whether it's olives or potatoes or pineapple or chicken or ham or full meat or whatever. And you go to these pizza places like Domino's Pizza back in the UK, and they go, it's fully loaded, it's got all this meat on it, but the meat is all processed. It's minced chicken, or it's minced beef, or it's minced sausages, or it's sliced pressed meat that's put on the top of it. None of that appeals to me here, none of it at all. So So I went from fat, and I was fat, guys. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I got, look at that. See, I got more chins than a Chinese phone book. You can see that? Look at that. It's all hanging off me, and I can go and get plastic surgery and have all that pulled back and tucked in. It makes my nose look bigger. Anyway, so I have a routine where I go out for lunch, and my lunch is usually around 1 o'clock. And it will. Today I've just had chop suey. I've had white wine vinegar, and I don't do chop suey here with eggs, quail's eggs. I just do it with lean pork over the top of it, no garlic. That's the other thing. When I was back in the UK, then I used to turn around and have garlic or some chili or some spices on my food. Here, I don't have any of it. I can't deal with it. I don't know what it is. It gets into my chest, and it gives me heartburn. It gives me all this indigestion. I can't sleep at night. I'm up all night. You know, whether it's Crohn's or whether it's being on a celiac, or whether I've got GERD, or I've got inflammatory, I've got IBS, whatever it is. I don't go to the doctors for them to turn around and tell me what's actually wrong. I just deal with it, make sure my diet's there. I drink milk, which is strange really for an elderly person, because elderly people, as you grow older, you actually wean away from dairy. But I find the calcium in the milk, and the full fat milk, works really, really well. I have that with my cereal, whether it's cornflakes and I have banana, I never had any sugar on it, but loads of cereals have high salt content. But as long as you turn around and you bring it back with a milk, and people say to me, oh, why don't you turn around and use semi-skimmed or skimmed milk? What's the point? Why should it be processed milk when I can just have full fat milk? So I have full fat milk, and that's what I have, and I eat cookies and I eat donuts, but I do my chocolate brownie. So this is my luxury of the day. See here, look at that. See, it's a luxury of the day, and I don't have it hot. Everything that gets chucked in an oven or a microwave, affects the ingredients that are inside it. So the ingredients will start leaching whatever oils or things that are actually unnatural in the product you're eating. So sometimes the baking process stops. You eat. You don't get the baking process and then rebake, because the fats and the amino acids and the vitamins and everything that's left in that product will be killed off. So you're eating an inert product. So my daily dietary requirements have changed. Has it changed for the better? I believe so. The only bit that I can't turn around and get on top of at the moment, and I don't think I ever will be my eyes, because that is all down to glaucoma, it's all down to myopia. It's all about degeneration of my eyes, and I think that was from when I had the car crash, and I smashed my face into the steering wheel and the dashboard, 80 kilometres, 100 kilometres an hour, and it was all operated on and made good. But when you operate on things, they're never the same. Do you know what I mean? You do your arm and you break your arm, it's never as strong as it was. It gives you aches and pain, and you get arthritis, and I think that's the same with my eyes, and I'm getting used to that, and I'm understanding that, and I'm living life as that. But as I said, my chest size has come down. I've got this fatty bits here which I need to deal with. My weight has come down. I eat more fruit here. I eat less junk food here in the Philippines. I get out in the sunshine more than I do in the UK. When it was in the UK, the sunshine was out maybe twice a year, 3 times a year, and the rest of it was cloudy. You're still picking up UV, and you're still picking up ultraviolet, and you're still picking up vitamin D from the sun that's coming out. But here in the Philippines, it's sunny all the time. It's overcast today, so I'm not outside because it's raining. That's why I'm inside doing my vlog. I'm here in tea and coffee bean. But I had my little routine, and as a friend of mine, Scott, turns around and says, I'm at certain places at certain times of the week, like Tuesday at 1 o'clock, I'm here at SM at French Bakery to meet Scott. On Wednesday at 1 o'clock, I'm actually at Garden by the Bay, and I'll have a few beers. I do drink beer, and I drink maybe 5-6 bottles of beer a week. And I turn around and it will be light. It will be San Miguel light, and that's what I drink. Back in the UK, I wouldn't drink 5 or 6 bottles a week because I'll be driving, and 2 bottles was enough to take you over the legal limit. And if I got stopped and got breath tested, I'd lose my license, which meant I'd have lost my livelihood, which meant so there's this never-ending circle. But you know what? I have noticed that big swing over the last 8 years, and I think it's become. I believe it's because I've become a little bit more regimented within my daily cycle of eating. I've got more thought process behind looking at making sure I'm eating the right food. There is a lot of food here in the Philippines I keep away from. I don't go anywhere near it. And that's the reason being is when I come to the malls, and that's what foreigners do, it's because the standard of food is different. When I go to a carinderia or I go to street food, I'll eat it. If I'm out, I'll eat it, but I don't eat it every day. I don't know what the water is they're using in the rice. I don't know what the oil is they're using for frying and cooking. I don't know how many times that oil, is it rapeseed? Is it, a really, really cheap foreign oil? Is it mixed with another oil? Is it, all those things I look at to turn around and take into consideration. Definitely on the water, definitely on the rice. How do they wash the vegetables? Where's the pork come from? Where's the chicken come from? Where's the fish come from? How old is the fish? How old is the pork? I don't just grab it, cook it, eat it. That's what Annie does. Annie turns around and has upset stomach, and she ends up with cramps, and she ends up with a runny bum or whatever. Because she doesn't. When Annie gets hungry, she eats, and she needs to eat because she gets irritable. I turn around and plan my meals around 1 o'clock. I'll have something around about 5 or 6 o'clock tonight. I've got some bread for tonight, and I'm going to turn around and have my bread with some cream cheese, sliced banana on top of it, sprinkled with some honey. Do I toast my bread? I might do. I've got a fresh soup loaf here today. It's 80 peso. I'll just toast 1 slice of it. Cream cheese, which is not Philadelphia, it's Arla. Then I'll put a sliced banana. Then I'll drizzle it with some honey, sprinkle some chopped nuts, and that will be my dinner. Then before I go to bed, I'll have a bowl of porridge. I'll have some walnuts in that, and I'll end up having some blueberries in it. But I don't have lots of blueberries, so if I go out and buy a pack of blueberries, it's 500 grams, it'll be about 400 peso. A lot of people will say, well, yeah, we can't afford that. Well, you don't have to eat the whole bag, do you? I give Annie a bag of blueberries, she'll eat them all. If I give her a pack of grapes, she'll eat all. I don't eat grapes because they're too high concentrated sugar for me. I can have maybe 1 or 2, but I can feel the sugar kicking in. I can feel my mouth going dry. I can feel that I want to go for a wee and stuff like that. So I'm looking at my diet, I'm planning my diet, but sometimes I turn around and have to break the diet wherever I am. And the reason I'm doing this update is 1, because it's raining outside, and 2 is because next week I'm going to do some travelling, and then when I go and travel, I'll be out in the barangay, and if there's a 7-Eleven, I can get in the 7-Eleven, and I can get some diet drink, and I can get some water, and I can get some food that I can eat. When I get further south, 7-Elevens aren't there. It'll all be about street food, local restaurants, local cafe bars that are on the side of the road or just set back from the road or in villages and towns that I'm going to visit. And that's when you turn around and you look at the rice and make sure the rice is fresh. Sometimes I'll actually get a cup of rice and I'll ask them to do a stir fry the rice with egg, so it dries the rice out, and it also, I don't know how long the rice has been sitting there. I had rice today in one of the outlets here, and they served it cold. And I said, I don't eat cold rice. I need to have hot rice with my hot chop suey. But very, very nice. But yes, look at your diet when you come here. Watch your diet. Don't just go out and grab anything willy-nilly. Fruits are really good here. Langoustine at the lanzones at the moment is really, really good. Meringue is good. The durian is good. The pineapple is really, really sweet and nice here. Watermelon is really, really good. I don't see any other melons at the present time, but watermelon is very, very nice when you get the really, really rich red flesh, or you get the yellow. It's very, very nice. I like lanzones, especially when it's got loads of ants, because then you know there's sweet. So when I can see loads of ants, I know that I can only have 2 or 3, maybe 4 of the lanzones, wash them off, get rid of the ants, put them in a bag, and then drink plenty of water, travel, go from there. Pan de sal on the bread in the morning when I get up. If I'm travelling, I'll get the pan de sal. The big thing for me when I travel in the morning, if I want a hot drink, I get a hot water and I take a tea bag, because the 3-in-1 is a killer for me here, absolute killer. You can get coffee and it will come already sugared, because it gives them the energy, it gives people that energy, it gives them that uplift, but it's no good for me because it just makes me want to stop and wee, and it turns around and affects my eyesight and stuff like that. So so my diet has changed a lot, and I do vlogs regarding the prices that I have to pay. Cauliflower's expensive at the moment, broccoli's expensive at the moment, beans are cheap, so that's pretty good. Cabbage is cheap, peppers are expensive, red onions are cheap. But there was a big article on Inquirer this week about the government taking importers to court, a task, because there are importers that are manipulating the market on onion prices. They're all getting together as a syndicate and they're turning around and holding the prices high when the prices are low. Red onions are one of those. So there's 12 importers up on Luzon that are being taken to court for what they're doing on the market prices and trying to generate more revenue. People want to eat. People need to eat. People don't want to be paying extortionate amounts of money. But my diet is good, and I drink plenty of coffee, at least 3 cups a day, a litre of sparkling water a day, 1 or 2 cans of diet soda a day, sugar free. And then before I go to bed, it's a litre of Perrier water or San Pellegrino. And I'll just sit there and I'll just drink that. It'll have maybe some lemon in it, maybe lemon tea put into it. It's what I do. But for me, my diet has changed. I'm no longer as fat as I was. I'm not as fit as I used to be. I used to be able to walk up and downstairs quite comfortably. As I've got lighter, my knee joint and my hip joint on my left-hand side have become a little bit weaker, and I've got aches and pains in certain joints. And I think that was because of the car accident and also the lorry accident I had when I was back in the UK. But anyway, I hope you enjoy this vlog. Like, share, subscribe. As somebody said to me the other day, they turn around and say, "See the hat? Stop for a chat." So eating healthily, moving from a fat culture to a relaxed, de-stressed culture. The reasons? Well, hopefully I'm going to live longer. I'm not going to turn around and be shuffling off this mortal coil or termination of life. Change my diet, change my lifestyle, change my eating habits, change the foods I'm eating, trying to extend my life into the 80s, possibly into the 90s, maybe. So Moving to the Philippines, good thing. Living in the Philippines, good thing. Looking at my diet, good thing. Losing the weight, de-stressing, good thing. Lowering my blood sugar level, lowering my blood pressure, good thing. Yeah. Hopefully, it will add some time on the other end. As I get closer to 70, let's see if I can get closer to 80. As I get closer to 80, let's see if I can get closer to 90s. A friend of mine turns around and says, it's all in the mind. If you focus on it, it'll happen. But I don't know. I look at it, it's all in the DNA. Yeah, it's all in the DNA. You know, and years ago, people didn't turn around and worry about it. They just, when it happened, when it happened. Now, you've got people that want to put vaccinations in your arm to stop monkeypox or COVID-19 or SARS-2 or some other degenerate disease that mankind has created. Not nature, mankind. So, change my diet. Get rid of all the chemicals that are in my food. Get rid of all of those emulsions and hydrogenators and all of that stuff. Live a healthier and more relaxed lifestyle. So, I'm going home now. Gonna walk that way. About 2.3 kilometres. It stopped raining. So for me on a Thursday, looking to live longer,